Alright, it's a lovely Sunday. About midday. It's nice and cool again. I think it's going to get hot next week, but that's alright. That's what happens here in the South, in case you didn't know it. We're always grateful for a little break from the heat. Today, I'm not going to do a whole bunch, but I am going to try to get the new glow plugs in it and the valve cover gaskets put in. I commented in the last video that I need to look to see if I could get the wiring harness, but guess what? The gaskets come with them. I'm a little bit worried though. I see where it says on there made in China, but I guess everything is these days. So I guess I'm just gonna have to roll with it. And then I was doing some looking about deleting this exhaust back pressure valve, and people do it various ways. Some you can buy a new pedestal and a new exhaust housing here. I don't know if I'm gonna do all that. It's like 150 bucks. I'm kind of broke. And then I was looking, some people put intercoolers on them. It don't look like that's too hard, but you know what? I'm not gonna do all that. I'm just going to make it run, blow a little black smoke, make the turbo whistle. This thing ain't going to be all that fast, which is okay for a 16-year-old. And it'll be fine. If he's into it and wants to modify it, I'll help him when that time comes. But for the moment, we'll make it run. We'll just make it run. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit talking about it, because I know when I've said enough. Just stop right there before it gets too boring. Alright, I pulled the first glow plug out off the rear cylinder. That's easy to do. All you need is a 10 millimeter deep socket, and it comes right out. Handy if you got a thin walled one. If you had one much bigger than that, it'd hit the rocker arm. It has made in Germany glow plug in it, which I haven't tested or anything. Might be that the what's in it's better than what I'm fitting to put in it, but you know, we'll see. And the young man don't know it yet, but he's fixing to go clean the valve covers.
Oh really?
Yeah, won't that be fun?
They look pretty clean to me.
Got to clean the outside. It'll be easy to do. You know, there's a guy at work. I always tell him, don't worry, Alfredo, the next job's going to be easy. And he just laughs and laughs and laughs. He ain't got an easy one yet. You know what? You know why?
Why?
Because he's good. On this one, I had to put a piece of hose on it to get the rest of the way out. That one must be down a little more than the others, but that works okay. Did you get that valve cover clean?
Yeah, it's drying.
Blow it out with some air. Alright, here's an observation about I had to replace the new clips on the new plugs with two of the old clips, because they just didn't want to lock properly, which I guess isn't the end of the world, but you know, come on, can't you make your new parts work right? Come on, people. Alright, well, he's getting the air hose and dragging it across everything. You gotta be careful about that when you got engines open like this. You know why? You drag that hose across there, you might knock the little top off the can of penetrant and up down in the motor. I remember one time I was working on Got Milky One's brother-in-law's 1973 Chevy truck, and I think I redid a carburetor for him. But somehow a screw got left. I ain't sure if it was me or him, somewhere. Anyways, they run the motor a little bit and they started making a bunch of racket. Still ran good, but made a bunch of racket. Pulled the head off. There was a screw imprinted in the top of the piston where it all over the place. It fell in the motor and it didn't spit out the exhaust. That was on a 283. I think Got Milky One still has it in his shed. You know, he's a hoarder just like me. Wait a minute, I'm not a hoarder. Alright, I got everything ready. I hope I don't regret these Chinese valve cover gaskets. I probably will, but got the wires zip tied and away from everything, I think. So we're going to put the valve covers back on and see how she goes. One of the benefits of working with your son out in the garage is you get to have time to talk about stuff. And we've been talking about aliens and astronauts and a bunch of other stuff. And anyways, he wants to know if I believe in aliens. And the answer is yes, I do. All you gotta do is go to Walmart, a bus stop in the city. I believe they're amongst us everywhere. I believe they're fixing to take over. You don't believe it? Just look around. I'm telling you. Alright, back to the subject at hand. We got the valve covers all back on. I've replaced the solenoid for the glow plugs. It's got new glow plugs in it. I need to put that ding-danger back on. The young man has cleaned it properly. And then maybe we'll see about that turbo a little bit. But we're not going to work out here too long because we have plans for some other stuff that we spoke about in a video a couple videos ago. You know what I mean. You know what's another thing that's amusing? A while back in a video I said, you gotta use hand signals, that helps make the video better. And some people have commented on it, it's a little bit amusing to me. But I was watching this video the other day, and I mean, it probably wasn't me, I can't take credit for this. But they were violently pointing, and it was almost comical. He just basically told me to calm down and get back to work. So I'm going to take his advice. Another thought. I've mentioned this before. You know, I work in construction. I don't want to say too much about that. But desperate for people to come to work. Truck drivers, you name it. And most of you don't live where I do. That's alright. I'm sure it's the same where y'all at. Alright. I need to replace these pigtails here, but I got butt connectors, but I don't want to do like most folks do and just crimp some butt connectors on and roll with it. I want some of those tight that you heat them up and they got their own shrink wrap on them. I got shrink wrap, but it's not really weather tight. Well, I need some good stuff, so I think the little man and I are going to go to the parts store here this afternoon and get some. And I was watching some other videos about how to take the turbo off, and turns out I was mistaken on how I done it. I just got an old socket and welded it to another one, which worked for me, but I figured out I'm supposed to have some of them universal sockets. So I'm going to go buy some of them, I think. And what else? What else am I going to do? I don't know, something. Alright, so I come out here to the turbo truck. I noticed a spring laying there. I thought, what the heck? I noticed when I drove it the other day, it was raining a little bit. Well, that wiper didn't work too good. Look at that. The spring just fell out. You just can't have nice things.
Really can't.
Alright, we just took the truck on a long errand just across the street.
Yeah.
And it seemed to do okay for us. So our confidence is rising. Alright, I've collaborated with a young man here and I've made the executive decision that we're going to lay off on this truck for the moment. We've got a fair amount bid today, this weekend. Got a bunch of stuff. I need some high quality connectors for these connectors, which I'll just pick up when I go to work tomorrow sometime throughout the day. No use making a special trip to town for that, right? And I could do the same for those swivel sockets I found out I was supposed to have. So we're gonna go do something else. So, would you mind ringing the bell, sir?
No.
Somebody was complaining about that the other day. All you'd ever do is ring the bell. What's going on here, son? And then some people are dismayed if we don't ring the bell. You know what we are? We're darned if we do, and we're darned if we don't. But that's okay. That's the price we pay for having the fun that we have and living the life that we live. So if y'all could go to MrHeavyChevy.com where you could buy a sticker just like that one. This one, not that one, or that one. And a t-shirt that says, "Who the heck is Mr. Heavy Chevy?" Or a pair of shorts for your girlfriend that say, "Who the heck is Mr. Heavy Chevy?" We do have fun doing this stuff. I would do this stuff anyway. I might not be at quite this level. This does tend to keep me motivated. But I'm pretty motivated anyways. Would you consider me lazy?
Not really.
Not really? Well, I appreciate that. Do you think I should be a little more lazy?
Well, not exactly lazy, but not work all the time.
I don't work all the time. I sleep,